Welcome back, or welcome for the first time if you've never been here before. My last video that I uploaded a couple days ago was a short 2-minute clip about life insurance. If you haven't seen it yet, click on this link, go ahead and watch it. It's less than 2 minutes. At the end of that video, there will be a link back to this video. Okay, now you may be asking, Caleb, why did you ask me to watch that video? How sad was that? I was having a good day until now. Let me ask you a question in return. Do you have life insurance? If your answer is no, did that video make you feel like maybe you should get life insurance? If you do have life insurance already, did that video make you feel a little bit proud of yourself that you already have that in place? That was my goal and intent in making that video specifically, and this whole channel in general, that it would make you pause just for a moment and consider your own personal circumstances. Maybe that quick evaluation was enough to prompt you to maybe think about a few other steps that maybe you should be taking. You see, as I watch other pretty popular YouTube channels that talk about finances and investing and money, I'm a little bit worried that there's a disconnect between money and investing and personal finance. We talk about the finance portion, but we don't necessarily talk about the personal part of that finance portion. And if I can't do a good job about merging the finance with the personal and see how they apply to your real life, then frankly, I might as well just stop making these videos and you should go somewhere else and watch videos. Because I can talk all day about how you can make money investing in real estate, but if it doesn't actually prompt you to make a specific change in your life, well then I'm not really accomplishing anything. And so life insurance is about as personal as you can get. It really is a matter of life and death. So the rest of this video will be on the who, why, how, and what of insurance and how it affects your personal life, my personal life. Let's start with the what. What is life insurance? Actually, let's take a step back. What is insurance? A practice or arrangement by which a company or government agency provides a guarantee of compensation for a specific loss, damage, illness, or death in return for payment of a premium. Did you catch that? So that wasn't the easiest definition to understand, so let's try a different one. Insurance is a thing providing protection against a possible eventuality. Okay, I like that. A possible eventuality. Or you have something good that comes into play if something bad happens. It's like this. Here in the Pacific Northwest, it rains a lot. And now to be honest, most of us who live in the Pacific Northwest, we don't really carry around umbrellas. We go without. However, if I were a groomsman in a wedding and I had a half a mile to walk to get to the venue, then there might be a possible eventuality that it would rain. And in that case, to be considerate of the rest of the bridal party and smart because I don't want to stand soaking wet for the next 2 hours, it would be smart if I had the insurance in place against the possible eventuality that it might rain. So the umbrella represents the insurance. It is my insurance against the possible eventuality that water might fall from the sky and I might get wet. What I'm insuring against is that I don't get wet. So it starts to rain, I have my umbrella, I open it up, and I don't get wet. That is the insurance that it's providing. But the umbrella does me no good if 1, I haven't bought it, and if 2, I've left it at home. It doesn't do any good for me to walk halfway to the wedding, have it pour on me, be soaked, and then walk into a store and buy the umbrella. It's too late at that point. I'm already wet. If the insurance purpose, if the umbrella's purpose was to keep me dry, I can't wait till I'm wet to buy it. So it's the same thing with insurance, life insurance specifically. You can't wait to buy life insurance until you're already dead. You have to buy it long in advance. And the longer in advance you buy it, the cheaper it is, because the less likely it is that you're going to need it. So, that's so much better. You know, I just found out as I was recording this video that I have no idea how to tie one of those bow ties. So what? What is life insurance? Life insurance is an agreement, a promise from a life insurance company that as long as you have an active policy in place, they will write a check to whomever you decide in the event that you die while you have the policy. And let's move on to how. How does life insurance work? Well, for your part of things, it's actually quite easy. You pick a number on how much money you want the life insurance company to write a check for in the event that you die. That number could be as low as $10,000 or it could be as high as tens of millions of dollars, but you pick the number. Then the next number you pick is how long you want the policy to be in force for. And that could be as short as a few years, or it could be as long as until I die. An open-ended, basically. It lasts for your entire life, however long that life may be. Once the life insurance company has that information from you, now they must begin the complicated work of figuring out mathematically what to charge you for that policy. They have to run mathematical formulas, actuarials is what it's called in case you're interested, to determine how likely it is that you're going to die within whatever time frame you decided on. And that gets really quite complicated because it's all based on statistical analysis from people who have died in the past. Now, for a life insurance company to stay in business, and by the way, you really want your life insurance company to stay in business because if they go bankrupt, they don't have the money to pay the policy like agreed upon. So, you want your life insurance company to stay in business. But for a life insurance company to stay in business, they have to be profitable. They have to bring in more money in those policies, those monthly premiums, those annual premiums. They have to bring in more money than they pay out. And since they don't know how much they're going to have to pay out, because they don't know actually when you're going to die, when I'm going to die, they have to make their best guess. And for them to make their best guess, to get a really complete analysis on you, on me, and our likelihood to die, they will ask for much more information. They'll ask questions like, are you a smoker? How many alcoholic beverages do you drink a day? What is your occupation? Etc., etc., etc. Lots of questions because they need to get an accurate picture of your life so that they can do the best job they can to statistically predict if and when you will die within the time frame. Once they have all that information, they will put it into their computers, run the calculation, and it'll spit out a number, and that number is how much your monthly or annual payment would be for the policy. And you can see how this can get pretty complicated, and you can see how one person's insurance premium might be a lot less or a lot more than another person's premium. If someone has smoked for 20 years, their policy is going to be more expensive than a similar person who has never smoked. However, if that non-smoker has an occupation as a stunt pilot, well, their insurance might be substantially higher than the smokers. So it's really hard to give an exact number of what your premium might be because it varies so much from person to person, area to area, how much insurance coverage you want and how long you want it to last. But that's how insurance works. Now on to the who. Who should get life insurance? That's actually a pretty easy answer. If anyone relies on you for your income or your time, then you need life insurance. But let's break that down just a little bit. It should be pretty obvious if you have someone who depends on your income. If you have someone that needs your monthly income to pay for their food and shelter and transportation and clothing, they're dependent on your income. The time equation might be a little bit harder and might be one that gets missed. But let's say you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad. Well, you're not bringing any income necessarily into the family, but you provide a lot of service to your family. You're the housekeeper, you're the gardener, you're the nanny, you're the tutor, you're the babysitter, you're the chauffeur. All those things, if you weren't there doing it for free because you love your family, would have to be paid to someone else to do that. So it doesn't matter if you don't make an income or not. If someone relies on you for your time, and that might be an aging parent who wouldn't be able to take care of themselves if you weren't doing it for them. That could be a situation where someone relies on your time, but not necessarily your money. If either of those cases is true for you, someone relies on your money, someone relies on your time, you need life insurance. So basically, if you're married, if you have kids, if you have people who live with you and are dependent on you, you need life insurance. But let's ask the question the other way. Who does not need life insurance? Now there's two groups of people that I believe don't need life insurance. One group would be a person who has no one depending on them for their time or money. So children would fit this example. Now it would be emotionally devastating to lose a child. I can't even begin to imagine what that would be like. Strictly from a monetary standpoint, just a money perspective, those children don't provide a monetary value to your household. And so you don't need to get life insurance on them unless you just want a small policy that comes into place in case they die so that you can have some money to pay for the funeral expenses and all that. I know this is not a fun topic to think about your children dying, but let's move past that. Let's say you're a recent college graduate and you're living on your own. You don't have kids, you're not married, you have no one relying on you for your time and your income. So in that case, you wouldn't need life insurance. Again, if you want to have some money that's left to cover any of your expenses, sure, do that. Get a small policy. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't need life insurance. So that's one group of people who don't need life insurance. Those who don't have anyone relying on them for their time or their money. Now, the other group is kind of a trick question. You have enough money and assets that you own that if you were to die, those who are dependent on you would be just fine. Well, you don't need life insurance. Now, why do I say it's kind of a trick question? Because remember, life insurance, or insurance, was something that provides for a possible eventuality. That something is money. So the life insurance policy is money that comes into play in case you die. So the money is the thing that the insurance is providing. So if you already have the money that you need, then the money that you have replaces the need to have insurance. Because remember, insurance is for money, you already have the money, you're self-insuring. You've already covered yourself for those possible eventualities. So example, you're married in your 50s, your kids are out of the house, your kids are graduated from college, and you have $2 million in your retirement fund. Well, your spouse gets access to that $2 million. Most likely, that is more than going to provide for them, even though you're no longer there. So you self-insure. You don't lose the need for insurance because the money that you have is your insurance. But you lose the need for paying for that policy. Now, some people, they choose to keep life insurance even after they have all the assets that they need to provide for those that they leave. And at that point, it just kind of becomes a luxury item. They like to know that there's a little bit of money in case something else happens, and that's fine. It's a luxury item at that point. It's not a necessity. It's not something that they need, but more than welcome to buy it. Finally, let's discuss why. And we've kind of already talked about this. Why do you get in life insurance? You get life insurance to protect those that you care about, to leave something to those that you care about in the event that you pass away. It's for them. Let me say it a different way. If you have someone who depends on you, they need you to have life insurance. You don't need life insurance for yourself because you're not going to get to ever see the benefit of it. You're going to die and then the money's going to come. You're never going to see the benefit of life insurance on yourself. It's for them. It's for those that you leave behind. I'll wrap up with this. There is another side benefit to having insurance, and it's really hard to quantify what this is worth, but there's a certain peace that comes with having life insurance. I know that if I were to die, my wife and children would be cared for financially. Not leaving Keely with questions on how am I going to feed the kids, how am I going to make the mortgage payment, how am I going to pay for the car. She doesn't have to worry about those things. She'll have more than enough to worry about if I die. And so it gives me peace, a little bit of peace, knowing that that part of it will be taken care of, that she won't have to worry about that. And conversely, it gives me peace knowing that Keely also has life insurance. If she gets into the car one day and gets into an accident and doesn't make it back, I know that even though we will sorely miss her and we will struggle without her, financially speaking, I don't need to worry. I can take all the time I need to mourn, to grieve, to travel with the kids if that's what they need, to get private tutors, whatever it may be. I know that if she were to die, I'm taken care of financially. And like I said, you can't really put a value on that, but I know that the $20 a month that I pay for my $500,000 policy of life insurance, it's more than worth it to pay that and get that little bit of peace in our lives. It makes our lives a little simpler, a little bit less stressful, just knowing that that's in place. So, I implore you, if you have people who depend on you and you don't have life insurance and there's any way you can get it, go get it. For most of you, it's not complicated and it's not expensive. So go out, take the step, and get the life insurance coverage that they need. Because remember, it's not about you, it's about them. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, there's more on the way. Until next time, take care.